Hey, this is Dave from Chaos Guitars, and this is my special guest.
I'm Steve Seacrest. I play bass and sing in a various amount of things, primarily Big Handsome. I've done guests with Hate Machine, and I do other shit.
That's right, you did. You played with us.
Yeah, I think
filled in
once
for
or
us.
twice.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Definitely once and a half.
Once and a half.
Yeah.
Anyway, and this is Chaos Theory. On this Chaos Theory, we're going to talk to you a little bit about kind of old school recording. I said to Steve, what do you want to talk about? And we were kind of throwing around things, and he said, tape machines. And I said, tape machines? And then we got into this whole topic of old school recording, which is, to me, what I've always recorded on. But to him, because he's so much younger than I am, it's probably stuff that you didn't grow up around. I grew up around. Yeah. So tell me about it.
Ooh, so ever since I started music, it was all digital. Mm-hmm. And that's just the platform. There's no analog technology out there. So it's, even if it's all one track and you don't do anything to it, it's on a digital, it's either on your phone or on like some kind of Tascam or Audacity or whatever the hell you have.
Yeah.
So working with that and then learning how to use that and making music sound good on that is completely different now than how it was like pre-95, I think, was when it started.
Yeah. We did, well, I'm show my age, but first couple albums we recorded, we didn't do it. There's no way we could have done it. We went in the studio, we did reel-to-reel, we worked our way up through DAT tape. We still have I got a reel-to-reel somewhere. Either I have it or my brother has it from one of our first albums. But there was no doing it yourself. There was no digital. I mean, now we can, like, we started re-recording our new stuff and our older stuff in the new platforms, and we're using Reaper and things like that. And it's amazing how easy it really is to do now as opposed to the way it used to be.
Yeah, digital is aggressively user-friendly.
Yeah.
So any old dude on the street can start a studio. Like, just buy a mic and record some band.
Yep.
And depending on how much money you want to put into it and effort you want to put into it, you can make a garbage band sound really good.
Yeah.
And you can make a really good band sound great.
Or sound like garbage.
Or sound like garbage, that is true.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still a lot to learn. And I think it all depends on your background. Now I see you and I see Aiden from Relapsed, same kind of generation, and the younger guys, because you grew up with it, you're so used to it. It's like second nature to you. For me to go from the old school kind of tape to digital and the way it is now, I mean, it took some effort. It was a lot of learning, and there's a lot of things with digital that I'm like, no, I can't do it that way. It's not right. Me plugging right into the interface and playing for heavy metal, I was like, no, this is not the way you do it. I need to mic an amp, but you don't really. I mean, I still do that because I like that sound, but there's so many good simulators and everything out there. You really don't need to do it the way you used to do it with old school stuff.
And most bands don't even have amps now.
Yeah.
They just have like modelers and they plug it right into the soundboard.
Yep.
And then whoever's your tech just has to turn up the volume. It's crazy, and sometimes everyone sounds the same. It's hard to get like your own thing going on when you're doing that. I hear a lot of bands that sound very, very similar, and then I hear some bands that sound like completely off the wall because they put in the effort to differentiate themselves from that.
Yeah.
And it's a new technology for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone older than 30 using like a modeling amp. So that's just
I'm
my
older
experience
than
with
30.
it. You don't use like a modeling amp live though, do you? I mean, you use your
Yeah, but I mean that's
a
kind of like
digital
the
amp,
granddaddy of it, really.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, and it's true. The difference from when I was younger, when we gigged and toured, we had half stacks, full stacks. I had a 12 spaced rack of rack equipment and pedal boards and stuff. Nowadays, they show up with this tiny little cabinet and this tiny little whatever thing, and that's it. And bass players don't even have to show up with a cabinet.
No.
I mean, it's really the difference in the equipment of yesteryear as opposed to today is really amazing.
Yeah, and I like most of the time that I play live, all my stuff it's still like head and cab, but it's a digital head.
Yeah.
You can use all the simulations if you wanted to. There's special ways you can download them. It's ridiculous. And that's still very early. That's like a 2005. That was before it got accessible and everyone could afford one and everyone could get one. So that was still like a dinosaur compared to the stuff we have now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what you can do with it.
Oh, I know. The stuff now is crazy. Of course, you're paying for it, too.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously expensive. But it's kind of like, and I don't know if this comparison will mean anything to you or not, but it's kind of the same thing when everything went from tube amp to solid state. And everybody was so anti-solid state. Oh, it'll never sound good. It'll never sound warm. It'll never sound like a tube amp. And they do now. And solid state is, I think Randall was one of the first ones, at least as far as heavy metal goes, where they really hit it out of the park and they made some really good sounding amps that didn't have tubes. And for the longest time, guys just didn't want to believe that. I mean, when we played, I gigged with a Marshall tube amp, a half stack, and it was great, but I wouldn't do it again with the stuff I have now. The stuff I have now is so much easier. So it's just technology is great, when it works. Go check out Big Handsome. And what else you got going on now? You got what's the other one? I know you're.
I don't know if I'm
stuff.
doing anything right now.
Not doing anything right now.
No, pretty much just
Well,
sitting at home.
Give your plugs. What do you want to plug?
All of the Big Handsome guys, I just want to say hi if you're watching this, and that I love both of you. We just recorded an EP. We put it out on the 30th called Speakeasy. I
did see that.
Yeah. So that's kind of a mix between old and new recording styles too. Because all the programs are all digital. We were all using our own amps. We played live. So it was me, Adam, Zach in a room, and Mike Bardzig, our engineer. Noisy Little Critter Studios. If you want to get some good sounding music recorded, go to him. You just kind of press record. We played them, and then we just overdubbed. I did like second bass tracks. Zach did 2 and 3 guitar tracks. I think one song had like 4 vocal tracks for me and Adam combined. It was a lot of everything, and we just kind of added. And that's the big benefit of digital compared to analog is it's really easy to add stuff, and it's easy to take stuff away. Like,
yes,
say someone farted into a mic, you can just kind of mute that. Where in analog, it's that's your take. You have a fart in the mix, and you hear guys breathing in tracks. I think John Bonham, you could hear him like screaming in pain when he's drumming. If you listen to isolated drum tracks, and you don't have that. Some people would say an issue. It's more of just a different character that you have now. So,
I totally agree. And we ran into stuff with that way back when we were told, especially with that tape. Oh, we can punch it out. Don't worry about it. We can punch it out. And then time came to do that, and they were like, we're gonna have to re-record. Well, by then, money's just run out and everything else. Where now you can literally punch out one note digital. I mean, that's nice about digital, but very cool. I mean, this was a good discussion. Definitely a great topic to compare the two. Both great forms of recording, and you don't see the old stuff much anymore. I do see people are putting out vinyl again.
Yeah,
which I guess that's cool. I think it's more retro kind of reminiscent type I want an album. I'll put whatever links for the things we talked about, the studio that they went to for Big Handsome, and whatever else Steve has going on in the description of this video. Don't forget to leave your comments if you have any questions or anything like that. Steve can always chime in the comments and answer your questions or any, whatever you got. So don't forget to leave your comments. And we thank you for joining us for another episode of Chaos Theory. Out!